got a problem, Lottie's got the answer. She won't sugarcoat 'em, 'cause it's Lottie, and Lottie don't lie. Cause it's Lottie, and Lottie don't lie.
Welcome back. You're tuned in to Lottie Don't Lie. This is Samantha.
And this is Melissa.
But we're going to do things a little bit different today.
Tiny bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay, what are we doing? I already forgot.
Well,
Just kidding.
what else is new, Melissa?
Hey, look, I have to stay on brand.
Okay, so this Lottie Don't Lie, we're going to kind of switch it into what we usually do on a usual episode. I feel like we have to start with a fail because you guys are making me. So
We do. I do want to just, full disclosure, say we have a friend with us today.
hello.
Her name is Marcia. We're going to introduce her more later. But we all got together to record, and Sam started telling a story, and we're like, whoa, wait, you have to share that for your fail. And then it was like,
Pull me in.
that was it, literally.
Yeah, and it's I don't even know if it's technically a fail. It's just a really funny story, and then y'all just started laughing, and you guys were like, "Don't tell us."
We want to hear the whole thing on record.
All right. I'll tell you. So one time,
Once upon a time in a land far away.
of toys.
there was a man and a woman. Okay, I gotta stop laughing. So you know how they tell you that when you're playing, not to use real candles. Like there's candles for playing.
I actually had no idea. I do now, though, so that's cool.
Yeah. So like if you ever feeling froggy and want to do some wax play, don't just pick up a candle and pour it on yourself or someone. You know the candles that we had made?
Yes.
Well,
Our favorite Buttercup Candle Company, or maybe we shouldn't be tagging them in this.
oh, they will love you guys are gonna laugh your asses off. You're welcome. So yes, the Golden Buttercup Candle Company, they created these little bitty candles for us called Land of Lottie. And it was on my nightstand because I love it. I love just lighting it, and it just makes our room smell like that for days,
Yeah.
without even burning. And so Simon and I were, getting the other kind of froggy.
The kind of froggy that I originally thought that's what you meant by it.
Yeah, Melissa style froggy. And we lit the candle. Well, he lit the candle. I was
Being froggy.
tied up.
Oh my goodness, this is even better than we expected.
He goes, "Oh, let me just pour the candle on your skin." And so at first it was like, "Oh, okay, that's hot."
Yeah.
All right. And then he puts it away, and then he gets it out later to go pour it on me again on the back of my shoulders, and it literally
Scalded.
2-degree burnt me.
Oh no.
I literally still have the burn mark on my shoulder, and I was like, "Oh, this is why you're not supposed to use real candles."
Oh no. I mean, is it though? Couldn't you get burned with a other kind too?
No, we have in the past used you can get massage oil candles from sex shops or whatever.
Okay.
And so in the past we have used those, and those do not get hot enough to burn you. But the kicker is that when you pour it on you, just like a normal candle, it hardens up.
Yeah.
And so then you have this waxy stuff all over you. And
you peel it?
I mean, you can,
Like a
but it makes
scab?
a mess everywhere. But what we thought was so awesome is that these candles, they don't harden. So when you pour it on you, it just feels like oil, and it's smooth, and it's soft, and it smells so
The
yummy.
sex kind or the Lottie kind?
The Lottie kind.
Oh, blend. So the Golden Buttercup Candle Company wax doesn't harden.
It doesn't. It feels very good.
Oh.
It's just, it gets too hot. So
Wow.
don't do that. Unless you guys want to make a sex candle someday, I'll test it out for you.
Yeah. She sounds like she will.
All right. Was the story is what you guys were hoping?
Yeah. I
Exactly.
learned. I laughed.
We're living. Moving on.
Moving on.
It may be that, after it burns for a length of time.
Yes.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
sat there too
Yeah,
long.
yeah. The first little bit, it literally, just the way it felt so good, and it was just a little ting of hot, where you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh, that's fine. But
And
then,
then it wasn't.
after it burnt, nope.
Fine until it's not.
Fun times.
Yeah, exactly.
What you
Well,
got? Did you have one
Do I have a fail?
Yeah.
I do. And mine's not as fun or exciting, but
It wasn't that fun or exciting.
well, it probably wasn't
I mean,
happening.
it was exciting when it was happening, all tied up and stuff. But anywho,
Oh, she's like not bragging, but bragging.
have fun, guys.
So, okay, for me, mine's about I let my tire get low in my car.
My tire is low.
Oh,
So I'm about to learn something too.
actually, yes, maybe I can help you. So this is the way the story is going to go. Me helping Sam in the end. Oh, wow, I like that. So my tire has been low and it's kind of like around, so it's supposed to be around 35 and it's been around like 29, 28. Well, then I keep forgetting to go to the gas station and fill it. All right. So this week it was at 23 and I was thinking, okay, that's really low. I got to get there. And so I went to the gas station last night and the nozzle at Quick Trip is thank you, Quick Trip, even though we're not sponsoring you, is the nozzle, because they do free air there. And the nozzle was broken off.
It's
So
always broken.
I was so mad. I was like, this is why we can't have nice things. I was so mad.
Quick Trip, no matter what Quick Trip, the tip is always broken, so the free air is useless.
See, I
I
kind
think
of,
it's pretty much everywhere.
yeah, I was gonna say, I kind of disagree because Quick Trip is like the only one that does it for free. And yes, it's broken sometimes, but at
All the
least I can, at least I can sometimes fill my tires. Marcia also says all the time. They're ganging up on me. Anyway, the point of the story is I get home last night and I'm like, yeah, Brett, I don't know what to do because I drove to work with my tire on 23. I drove home. Now I have to go to work again in the morning on 23. And he's just like, you have the air compressor at the shop. So I've had it here the whole time. And I could have filled all of our tires and I will today. I'll fill yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that because one of my tires is riding on 20.
Okay. Oh, wow. And she drove like an hour and a half to get here, guys.
Oh, wow.
No, we're going to make
Maybe
sure you
on
get home
15
safe.
now.
Now you're on 15. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was not serious, guys. But
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Okay.
So,
I fix my mom mobile.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
apparently I could have fixed mine like weeks ago.
That
And-
is so funny.
Yeah. Thank you.
You always have candy.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were going to go just
Candy track. Even when we were first getting started with podcasting, like Melissa would be like, "Here's my tool bag. All right, let's build some stuff."
That's right.
God, there was something that you like were measuring.
Plus, I don't know. My fail has been that I've been stuck in since snowstorm. And this is my first time out talking, so no telling what's coming out of my mouth.
That is so true. Okay, so the snowstorm was a week and a day ago.
Yep.
Right?
I'm not made to be a hermit.
You're not. No, she's not. She's a people person.
So
And
that's the best I can do because I was just crying in my cereal. My husband got to talk to some men that came to try to break up the ice. And I'm thinking, all I can do is sit in here with the dogs.
oh no. So this is actually perfect timing. We get you at your best. You're just overflowing. with things.
With things to say that probably will just pop.
Well, good. That's
Love
what
it.
we like. We want to hear. So why don't I introduce Marcia?
Yeah, please do.
All right. So Marcia is a very, very dear friend of mine, and I'm so lucky to know her. When I moved here in 2017, maybe the beginning of 2018 is when I met you, I would say.
Maria.
Well, we are BFFs now. We love each other forever. But yeah, was what right when you retired?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
And you want me to tell how we met?
Yeah, let's let Marcia tell.
All right. Melissa is a crafty person, and I met her when she was working at being a crafty person, and I came into the shop that she was working in.
Oh,
She was helping me, and we were kind of chit-chatting along and just, the general customer
service.
service person type of thing. And I took something up to the counter, and I dropped it, which is not unusual at all. Well, we both get down at the same exact moment to pick it up, knocked hard head.
Oh, so you meant literally.
Literally. Knocked hard head. Both came up. I'm snorting. She's crying, laughing. We're both inhaling so much that I think we got each other's details and have been friends ever since.
Everything.
And
It is.
the kind of friend that I have, two other friends that I can say anything at any time. And she has become a dear BFF, but I've also adopted her in my heart
Yeah.
as kind of a daughter. So
I love
that is how we met, and that's how we have continued. And she and Brett brought food to me when I was not able to cook. I don't cook that much anyway. And my husband, when I retired cooking. So, and we've just back and forth. And I come into the shop now, and I like coming in because it's like I'm Norm at Cheers.
Yes, sure.
And she taught Jake and Michelle to do the same thing. I don't know what she pays them extra, but
Yeah, I slip them money. Was it just for her or everyone? Be nice to Marcia this time.
No. Okay, I have to say,
complaining.
I am so glad that I cut y'all off and not tell me the rest of the story.
Oh, yeah.
How y'all met, because I thought you meant butt heads, as in like you guys didn't like each other, which is why I was talking about Courtney.
You said that. So we were explaining earlier, and Sam was like, "Stop, save it for the podcast."
Yeah, I don't want to know because it sounded like how me and Courtney didn't like each other.
No, we
Like,
loved
'cause
each other.
Butted heads.
We
theoretically.
did. We did.
But you guys met literally and not
Literally.
physically.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Figuratively.
Figuratively.
Yeah, true. True. But truly, like, Marcia's been one of my like favorite people. I can go to her when I want to just like bitch about something, and I know she's not gonna judge me. Like, she's just gonna let me get it out.
Or spread the drama.
She's not gonna spread the drama. She's not like that. But also, like, she's there to like build me up. And I remember when I went to Pyle's wedding, and she had me come over to her house, and she's like, "Hey, what are you wearing? And here's the jewelry that you should accessorize with." And like, she is a very dear person to me.
Tight girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's my head girl.
I'm proud of you. You've done
Oh.
you too, especially with this. You took something that you wanted to do, I think, for a while, jumped right in and got into it. You didn't hesitate, and you found your way as you went. And you can tell that
I got
from
it for you.
season 1 to season 2, and I'm looking forward to season 3.
No.
And you're genuine and you're yourselves. So I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you.
Someday I'll probably cry, but I'm not crying yet.
It's okay. Next time I'll come and I'll have like a little like poking stick. I'll be like stabbing her under the table. Like, this is your cue. Hello, cry.
I probably would have cried, but I think I cried it all out last night.
What? Wait a minute.
Dream that Simon died, and I woke up hysterically crying.
Yeah.
And he like was sitting there like, I'm alive.
That's not even funny. Like, that's
I'm alive. I'm right here. And I'm like,
scary.
I know. Well, at one time years ago, somebody I dated had been in an explosion type
Oh my
situation.
gosh.
oh my.
And I dreamt this, and I couldn't get a hold of him for a long time.
Oh my God.
So that's exactly why I was so hysterical, is because a lot of times I will see something like, what if it's real? What if it's real? He goes, it's not real.
No, but my husband too. We'll both say, yeah, we both kind of have a little,
like ESP.
some of that, and what do you call it, intuition,
Yeah.
or you've been with this before, or yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that about you. I honestly, I don't know you.
I know you don't, and they're like I said. I had a dear friend that I worked with. They said, how many Marcias are in there? There's quite a few.
That is so funny. I guess like just from my brief meetings of you a couple of times, I think I assumed that you were like uber religious, like church going.
I have that. I have a strong faith, but it's not into the exclusion of the possibilities of other things. And I think that there's a lot that we don't know. Who did you have on that? Was it the shamanist?
Yeah.
That said that she had a neural background, she had an educational background, and then the shamanism that was in her family.
Yes.
And she liked to combine all those things.
We were talking about intuition.
That is true. That's a lot of, I guess, what we talk about. And I think what I need to do is I need to stop associating everyone who associates in any kind with religion, I think I need to stop associating that with negativity, because not everyone who has a belief system with the church is closed-minded.
Oh, no.
And
One of the ladies that I dearly love, and my husband was raised Presbyterian, and that's what he asked me when we married. He said, will you go to the Presbyterian church with me? Because we went to several different ones as I was a child. And then I kind of moved away from it until, he and I were together. And my two best friends, they're my prayer warriors, and it gives me much comfort. And I do believe, that there is a higher power and that there is a love there, and that when you connect with each other through that prayer, that you can make change.
Yeah.
And whether you say that's through the nature of something, or I loved when Kelly Palmatier said, when I pray to food.
the universe, spirit.
Yes. and as you age and all, but this one lady at the church, she knew the Bible backwards and forwards. She played always at the church, but she traveled, she explored different religions. She could tell you about this and that, and anything that came up that she didn't know about, it was a thirst to know. So it was like, oh, you see people, and even at my age, I want to be like her when I grow up. So yes, I do. And Emmett brought me back to that. And then my two dear friends, have been that for me. So yeah, I have a strong God-based religious base and in my heart. But what I did as a speech pathologist, you had to be putting puzzle pieces together. You had to be quiet and watch the people and see what the hook would be to bring somebody into you, so that you would be able to find that avenue to help them,
Wow. So, okay. I'm hearing that you feel like we all have some commonalities.
Absolutely.
And you've got to we have to build on those together.
I think so. With all the division that's been so much in the world.
In all aspects, any aspect.
And I have strong ideas with some of that too. But basically, we all want to be loved.
Yeah.
You need all the basics to be able to function. House, food, a job so that you can have those things.
Yep.
I do think that we have, and it's fun. I mean, it's fun to find out new things and to be able, for me, if I can't laugh in a day, it's been a stinky thing. I don't care what it is. And we've got two dogs, and one of them is a little empath, and our new little rescue dog, it makes me laugh every day. She's just a squirrel. She's just funny. Yeah, she's you. She's you, the person on my lap.
Okay. All you had to say is that Melissa's now your little pet. Jesus.
But yeah.
I don't know. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's working with.
So you're saying that your past working history is kind of what has guided you into the person that you are? What was the...
So I think you said you were a speech pathologist.
That's true. And before I was a speech pathologist, I worked in a nursing home. I was a dishwasher. I had the most hideous hands for my prom and the picture, because it was before they had the electric dishwashers, it was in bags.
The 3 dip.
Yes, that nasty stuff. Learned to cook for 100 people, So now today, even my husband says we don't have potato salad, because he said when she picked up 10 pounds of potatoes, I thought, oh,
That's what she means. She likes to cook for a group.
Yeah.
Well, I love it when you make goulash because it means we always get some to
Yeah.
take home to our house, and it's enough to last us. And it's just Brett and Jacob and I, and it's enough to last us for like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And that was like part of her extras. So yeah, she likes to cook a lot.
Goodness.
She does, and she gives a lot too. But
Back to speech pathology. I became a speech pathologist because I also worked with a physical therapist in the nursing home.
okay,
And he said, you need to go back to school. I was 19, 20 at the time. And I said, okay.
he didn't want you washing dishes the rest of your life.
I had moved from washing dishes to cooking to an activity director
Aw.
to an activity
He
director
saw
/
your capabilities.
Yes. And he was a lovely and very nice
That's
looking
beautiful.
man.
Oh,
But he was a lovely man. And I said, tell me, what do you need to be a physical therapist? Well, he said something about you spend a month with a semester with a cadaver. And I said, that won't work. I couldn't do the frog in biology. He said, well, there's occupational therapy. And I said, okay, how about the cadaver? Well, he said, you don't usually have to touch it, but you have to know, the muscles and stuff. I said, what else is there? And he said, there's speech. Any cadavers? No. I said, tell me more. So then he introduced me to the speech pathologist he worked with at the hospital he came from.
Okay.
And from that, I started thinking, and I went back to school and got my degree in speech pathology.
Got you.
And I had also gone to a seminar at one time, and there was the occupational therapist, the speech therapist, and the physical therapist talking. And we had a lady at the home that was just but she was crying all the time. And
Like, you mean she would mumble all the
she
time?
would mumble. You couldn't understand what she's saying, but she cried, just heartache cry.
Oh.
Well, this speech pathologist was talking about breath control with Parkinson's or sometimes with strokes and different things, and how to help someone get those words out. So I took that back, and with this lady, I used it, and my goodness, it worked.
Whoa.
And it was like bing, bing, bing. Well, then you couldn't keep her quiet. But the reason she was crying was her husband had backed over one of their grandchildren on the farm, and the baby died.
Oh.
And that's what she had looping in her mind, that she couldn't share it again, to get it out. So once she was able to kind of burst that bubble of pain and not just have it holding there, she was hilarious.
Are you kidding me?
She was beautiful. She was wonderful. And the thing that you had with the gentleman that did the music therapy.
That's what it was reminding me of.
There was a lady that was there that probably had more than one personality, that had learned to play the piano at honky tonk. Most of the people that played piano at the nursing home played it from church, and they played hymns. Well, my dear friend Viv, she would play the different things, but the music would always bring people back. You could put people's fingers at the piano that were Viv having a bad day, that she was talking in a deeper voice than her normal, and that was when she was upset. And a lady that was, the words weren't coming anymore, but you put her fingers on and hum a little bit of a hymn, and she could start playing, and the tears would go away for a bit. So the music and that melodic intonation, that way it fires in the brain, that was it Brad?
Yep.
When he started coming on, and he said, started out with this.
Hey, Skirts Up Squad, it's your girl, Melissa. And as a small business owner, I love to support other small businesses. Currently, one of my favorites is the Golden Buttercup Candle Company.
They are the sweetest people ever. I am so glad that I met them. They custom created a scent for us called Land of Lottie for our event that we recently did. They also have a candle with the eucalyptus. It is the only eucalyptus scent that I will ever have in my house again. It is that good. Check out the Golden Buttercup Candle Company for all of your scented needs.
You heard it here first, the Golden Buttercup Candle Company.
And I'm laughing, and I'm thinking, yep.
You got it.
I got it exactly.
So, okay. So this is us teasing that next season we are going to have Marcia talking about her career as a speech pathologist.
Yes.
But I'm so glad you shared that, though, because it also takes me back to Melissa Walker's episode and talking about trauma. Like,
That's what I was thinking. Like,
right?
if she lost her ability to speak because of something so painful, to me, that sounds like an intense trauma. So it's interesting how you're.
Well, she didn't have the ability to speak because of the Parkinson's, is what I'm understanding.
Well, that too. And it could, who knows what wove into what.
Well, that's true too.
And
So-
once you get to this point to where if you're sitting this way and you don't, sitting all curved in into a C, and and I,
Helped
by
her
the
open.
time she was done, she was moving her own wheelchair.
Oh,
Her shoulders were back. She was a tiny little lady, and she and I had the best time back and forth teasing and stuff after that, and would give me hugs and tell me, "Don't you wish you'd just let me be quiet?" So just
You're like, never. Like, you'll never go back to that.
So
What I wanted to say really quick though was, it's talking about the trauma and stuff. I have had recent conversations with a friend, and that particular friend is like, does talking about your trauma really help, or does it just make you have a bad day? And I was like, no, I mean,
It can make you have a bad day.
It can make you have a bad day, 100%.
But you have to.
that's boiling
Because
out.
it's hard.
Yeah.
But just that story of hearing how that woman was able to like have the bad day so that she could
Get
heal.
over it. Yeah.
And so I just think that that's really interesting. And I feel like we're always learning stuff about human capacity. But yeah, so
teaser for what's to come in our next season, because Marcia's going to share with us all about
speech pathology.
Yeah.
But the reason that we have her on today is really because she's been very supportive of us since the beginning.
And we're coming to an end on season 2.
Mhm.
And so we thought, what better way than to finally have someone on who wanted to share with us what's our journey in the podcasting
Through
world.
her eyes.
Yeah.
I like it. The first year, I got to know you better, Sam.
So, no, I cringe when people talk about me in the first season. So I'm like, oh, I was still having seizures and stuttering like all the time, and then like forgetting.
I never heard a stutter.
Same, actually.
Never heard a stutter. And believe me, babe, I've worked, you train, but no, never heard a stutter. And you just are doing a beautiful job. And you talked about, domestic abuse. You talked about having a friend at this time in your life, dating. Good Lord, I'm so happy I'm out. I was out of that, 31 years now. But before that, most of my male friends were gay and my dance partners,
Yeah.
So I didn't have to, I just pulled myself out of that and tripped across him in the middle of a blizzard.
Oh yeah, we'll get to.
That's another one.
We can share the story how she met Emmett maybe next time. I think you guys will like that.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
You were just gonna say
that as you've moved into the second season, you've pulled in a lot of different people. I thought, okay, credential wise, boop, 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 you've got it. And then whenever you're talking to your guest speaker, you've done a little research before you talk to them. You've talked together. You know what you want to ask. You have an idea, and then you're not afraid to bounce from that on the trampoline way up in the air to something else. Grab an idea, come down and run with it.
God, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say that our prepping has definitely shifted because it used to feel like for me, I needed to know exactly what was going to be asked, exactly what the answer was, and in what order we were going to go in.
Pretty much what I asked you before I came here.
I mean, I think that's probably just like, that's probably normal. Like when you're learning how to do something,
Yes.
you want like a routine to know exactly what to expect.
So it becomes second nature, and then you can play outside the box.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Guys,
definitely.
I just learned because it was hard for me in the beginning with the like, okay, we need to have an outline, and I'm like, okay, these are the things I'd like to hit, but who knows where the conversation is going to take us? And what if there's something? Because some of my favorite things are when you're talking with something and something, like you said, jump on the trampoline way up high, comes out of left field. You have no idea that was even something that could have been said, and then you run with it. But it just all clicked when you said, when you're doing something new, you have to kind of have like a routine and how to do it. And then once it becomes second nature, you can free for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys know, like, me talking to people is not a thing. So this is new. So talking on the podcast when we started it, that is new.
Yeah. So in the beginning, she would say things to me like, she'd be like, I'm just going to share this and you can cut it if you want. But she would say, Melissa, I don't think I could do this without you because you have all the right questions. You know what to ask. And I'm just sitting there staring at them. I'm like, I don't think you can hear yourself. Like you're there for everything and you're just soaking everything in like a sponge. And sure, I think we both have gotten a little bit more, what's the word where you're better
Comfortable?
more like fluent, I guess. Fluid. Yes, exactly. I think we both have, but you did have it. You just couldn't see it in yourself. Well, in my opinion.
And you know, the nice thing about the recording is you can listen to it by yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, and
She's pretty healthily honest about what she'll edit though. It's funny some of the things that I'm like, oh, she kept that in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, what the feedback that I've heard, and you can, Marcia, tell me if this is kind of like what you think, but a lot of the feedback that I have heard is that people like when there's a little bit of imperfection, like when it doesn't sound so polished, when like you can tell this is a real conversation and not something that's been
hacked together.
It's not a PowerPoint that I doodle at and look at everybody's shoes and wonder where they got their nail polish to get my continuing education credits after being in it, you know, for so long. As you know, so it's not.
Like
it's
a conversation.
Smartless on YouTube.
Do you watch that?
Or the podcast? Yeah, I listen to that.
Them too. Smartless is Jason Bateman. Who plays Job on Arrested Development? Shoot, he used to be married to Amy Poehler. He probably loves being described as that. He used to be married to Amy Poehler. Anyway, so Jason Bateman, him, and then Will and Grace, the guy who plays Jack. I know all their names because I love their podcast.
But anyway, you all play off of each other like they do.
Wow. That's a huge compliment.
So they personalities, they are started that way.
We're tagging Smartless.
So you started out playing off of each other because of your friendship and your knowledge of each other and your openness to each other, and you support each other.
You know, funny, we weren't even that close when we first started.
No, we didn't know each other that well. Like we wanted to be close because our husbands were best friends. And so like you would,
and I was so isolated, like I didn't have any friends. And so Simon's like, go, you keep saying Melissa's so nice. Like, go talk.
I was so shocked because I feel like I'm such a dork and I'm like older than you. I felt like every time you came around, I was like, she's got this beautiful, long, perfect, thick hair. She's just like super cool. I never ever thought that you wanted to be my friend. And then you tell me that and I'm like, that is just so bizarre.
And there you go. Don't judge a book by its cover.
It's just true. Yeah, we do.
So did you have a least favorite episode? Like what, is there an episode where you're like, nah, you guys could have left that one out?
No, I don't have a least favorite. The one that I had more questions for was the shamanism.
Oh, we love her.
Because the shamanism was you can be a tree, you can be and the energy part. I get part of that. I had a friend that I worked with, and his best friend lived in Arizona and was American Indian.
Okay.
And he talked about them going out at night, full moon, and there were different people in their tribe, because I lived on the reservation, that would turn into a wolf.
Oh.
And I had such a hard time, and he could see. I mean, I have no poker face, you know. And but when she started about being in a tree and being but the openness and the differentness and there may have been a little peyote in there, but so some of that clicked with me. But still, there's this part back here. You can be a tree. Okay, so I'm thinking that physically I'm not a tree. Physically, I'm not the bark, but do I love nature? Do I find birds singing in the morning, the smell of the flowers and all of that? It calms my soul. So if she's coming from that, my brain right now processes it that way.
Do you oh, sorry.
I was going to say, so does that just mean that the example that you gave us about your friend that would say the full moon turns you into a wolf,
It's just certain people within the
tribe?
in the tribe?
So are you saying the connected piece is that now you understand that it's just the energy that they were taking on?
Well, I don't know.
I think so. This is where I was going to say, I think this could kind of bridge what you're asking, Marcia.
Right.
I was just going to say, do you remember in that episode when I said to Laura, no, Sam, you asked Laura, you said, are you talking about actually becoming a tree? Or not?
And I was going, sir.
And I think I even shook my head at you, Sam, and was like, no, it's all and then she said yes. She said yes. And I was like, what? And then Laura said, I love how you guys, Melissa's very what's the word? Abstract, and Sam's very concrete. And she's like, I'm talking about both.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know that I'm at the mental or the emotional place to be able to understand the concrete part of becoming a tree or turning into a werewolf. But I understand it from the part Marcia.
It was just a regular wolf.
Right.
But whatever. Okay, yes, you're right. I shouldn't probably turn it into something different. But I feel like it's it could be either or, but maybe I'm not at a place to even understand.
Maybe you're seeing it
yet.
from a concrete in your own way.
Yeah, my way, I think of things abstractly, and maybe I won't understand the other way. Maybe I will one day. I would love to.
Marcia's got something.
Yeah.
The lady that spoke about past life's regression.
Ellen, that was amazing.
Sam asked something about, well, does that mean that something about this wasn't true? And I loved her answer, and I can't remember the exact quote, but she said, what does it matter?
Yeah.
It was my brain is picking up.
How is your brain making something up? Well, what does it matter?
Yeah.
There's a feeling in there that you need to get out. And the nice thing about when you connect with a lot of different people, and I've been lucky with the professions that I've been in, there's thousands of people, whether I actually work directly with them or not, that you just almost, when I was going through menopause and worked in high school, I said I would walk through the halls when the kids were, moving from class to class, just with my arms wide out, getting all the estrogen and protection. It was just bouncing off the wall. But when you go through life, you do. You start, and it may be
let me just, for those who can't see Marcia, she didn't say it out loud, but she's saying, as she says, you do go through life, she's using her hands and kind of grabbing things from different people as if
you're trying to
collect a part of them, a piece of them, and understanding, knowledge, different.
That's actually really beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I think
and I think that's
lovely.
What we're kind of trying to do is because there's so many different things. I just remember growing up too and thinking, well, why is my beliefs that my parents are teaching me the only true?
Yeah.
And I didn't ever believe that. I never could. And it's because I said, because that's what I was going to say. I was like, is my friend lying to me? Because she believes this.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no. And so it's just it's probably no, she's not lying. She's coming from a totally different situation. And it's one day maybe I'll be able to understand it too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard concept. Just because I like to be clear and understand. When you said you wanted more information from the Laura episode and that would have been great for you in your mind, were you saying that it would be cool to have another episode with Laura about her heritage specifically?
That would be, and how she combined her heritage. It's a family thing.
I just wanted to make sure I understood what
I'm glad
the biology, neurology, and the educational part, and bleeding those together because as I worked as a professional, I learned from every single person I ever worked with. Sometimes I felt like they gave me more
Oh.
than what I gave to them because, yeah, I would like to know how she blended those because they're pretty. They're pretty.
Yeah.
Right, left, somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
floating up above.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. There's fact, and then, this is your heritage.
Yeah.
And then there's
But it depends on
which-
where you come from, what fact.
That's what I was just going to say.
and having the fact, guys. Yeah. Okay, so that's an episode where there's no episode that you think we should have dropped, but an episode where we should
Could've
expand deeper.
Yeah.
Not should, but could
Yeah.
expand.
I
What?
think the music, I love the music part, and I think
Brad.
that could, that bleeds into so many things. I had children that were, as my mom would say, were Dutchy. You can understand a word they said.
Oh, interesting. That's never heard that much.
And using videos and songs and little ditties and stuff, they would get that rhythm, and you get the kind of humming, and you get the approximation of words, but the melodic intonation and the up and the down, and you read to kids and you give the voices and you change things, and it's not just coming from you. So with you being in the podcast, it lets you come
a
out.
conduit. We're a conduit.
Conduit.
Oh my God, I just got chills.
But
We're like a conduit for other people's emotions and thoughts and feelings, and we're like giving them a platform.
That kind of makes sense. That's kind of what Maria, the domestic violence investigator with the DA's office, that's kind of what she said. She reached back out to us after the episode was released and the whole academy heard it. And she goes, that was amazing. She'd be like, I was on the verge of crying. And then all of a sudden, in a very appropriate way, you would make us start laughing. And then it's like, okay, lighthearted, but it's serious.
I mean, that's
Yes.
freaking life, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are laughing, we're crying.
oh, honey babe, if there wasn't, if you had people that I see that do not have laughter in their life or a sense of humor or a sense of the stinking ridiculous,
Yeah.
I just think I want to hug you and I want to pinch you and I want to find something that's going to make you laugh because you must be aching.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right.
What kind of topics do you want to see us expand into the next season?
Early childhood development.
Oh, this is sounding a little biased.
It is. She's not joking. Sam's not joking.
I enjoyed Kelly. She was so mellow. She's the kind of person I think I could sit down with and visit and
Oh, yes.
just
We streamed it live,
Oh.
and Kelly and you and I and a small group of people were all in the same room, and then we streamed it, and Marcia was watching the live stream just to kind of set the stage. And so if you got that from the live stream, I'm going to guess she probably said that.
Yeah. Because I know that, obviously we were there, but I was really focused on keeping everyone that was not physically there connected.
She was. She had to sit there on the computer. We were both trying, and she's like, text Marcia.
So, Marcia, you were a big part of the event.
I just saw that you needed more questions.
Oh, okay.
And not that I didn't have any.
Rude. I thought that you were actually invested in the event.
I was both. But, I could have kept her there the whole time. And I thought, well, Marcia, you need to just shut up.
No, I was so glad. And so I thought that you were legitimately invested and wanted to get an experience out of it.
I did, but I didn't want to hog the whole thing. You did it?
Yeah, I hear
And
you.
so then when you realized, okay, no, I can't ask him.
Opening
I'm going
to ask more.
So what kind of questions were you wanting to ask? Were they, I can't remember, were they medium or psychic?
The medium one was about my mother, who had a hard time leaving this world. And she did mention that your mom says, I know you think I wasn't ready, but now I'm okay with that.
Holy crap.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh, so that meant a lot.
Yeah. And then I thought, okay, it said something about this will be on for a month. So I went back and I listened.
Oh,
And and to find that. And so I sent it to my sister, and she said, well, I'm not sure. And I said, well, listen again to that one part. And I said, the one part about mom not being ready to leave this world, because she was in hospice, and the hospice folks said, your mom, there's no physical reason why your mom should still be here. And it was right before the holidays, and we were all home for Christmas and hadn't been for like, my dad knew to the date how long it had been.
Too long.
So, yeah, too long. So, knowing that she was at peace and that she was watching over us, and there's 3 daughters, and, so when she said family, and, we came to that because she said something about, I see something about throat, and I think your friend Courtney, and I said, well, my mom had something with her thyroid. Well, that was just before we married, but I think it was the precursor to the breast cancer that came later, and then the other cancer that finally was at the end. So,
did your sister hear that part again?
Yeah,
What did
she did. She's
More skeptical?
no, a little, but also she doesn't like to go there.
That's fair.
She doesn't like
She's
to.
not comfortable.
No, and my dad was not covered with death.
Yeah.
I think my experience earlier on,
The nursing home.
probably, and just where I've been in my life, made it not as unfamiliar to me, but it's totally different when it's a loved one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. You mentioned that you did ask some psychic questions. Did you feel like the answers that you got were meaningful in what you needed to hear? What
I
you
did.
expected to hear?
For the first one, she hit it spot on, because I said I had just been to a conference type of thing talking about early childhood literacy, and I was all fired up. I thought, well, I deal with some health type of things that can hit me all of a sudden, and I never know when I'm going to be able to do. I don't have to push anymore, so I don't. So I'm like, yes, I could do that. I could be on that. I could be on this. And so I said, what can I share my gifts? Which, as I listened to that, I thought, well, that sounds kind of lofty there, Dupree. You have gifts. You are such a smart little chickie. And she said, you need to go slowly, because I jump in feet first and drowned. And you tend to see that you don't have the confidence in your skills.
Yeah.
And those were all true. And yes, going slowly was a good thing for me. And then towards the end, just being able to manage the part of me that can slow me down, that can keep me from doing when I plan to do. And she said, sometimes it's like poking yourself in the foot if you're hurting, your ear is hurting and all. And I hadn't expected that at all. And I'm still processing that. I listened to what she said, to everybody. So, but she said, this is what I am interpreting. How it hits you may be different, because she said your mother, she hated to leave you so close after your mother's death. Well, those were 30, 20 some odd years apart. And I thought, okay, that's how she's interpreting that. And then I listened, and I thought, man, when she said, your mom says, I know you didn't think I can't do it. I was ready to leave.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that now. So yeah, that was good.
Wow.
I'm glad that it meant, I'm glad that the event meant something for everyone involved. Like, not just was it that we were connecting to provide for the family.
Right.
Yeah. But it was people who got to be involved did get something
out of it too.
Yeah.
And you had baskets full of
you won something in the auction that we're doing.
Yeah. Won meaning paid. Not I got it. I got it.
I was a winner. I had the highest bid.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
A
For the
paid winner.
beautiful Christmas tree that is made of jewelry that sparkles and it's just magical.
Yeah.
And my grandmother made something similar to it years ago, and it was gifted to me close to the end of her life, and I kept it, but it has since gone by the wayside. So when I saw this, I was like, I need that.
Wow.
So I'll have that hung up in a special place at my house. So.
Luann was so worried. She was like, I feel like this is kind of like no one's gonna want it.
Not
Don't tell
every-
me if no one wants it. And I was like, no, it's beautiful. Like,
You
and it's
tell her
She
it
felt
touched
like-
my heart in a way she'd never know.
Oh my God.
I love that.
I do too.
I love that.
My heart's been touched listening to Marcia today because sitting through the live event, hearing people or seeing the questions that were typed through to Kelly on Facebook and then Kelly answering them, I honestly didn't have any kind of an emotional attachment to any of those questions.
And I was able to feel it.
Right. And so I wasn't really sure. And I'm like, I'm just hearing Kelly say these things. And I'm like, well, I hope that meant something. And like,
You're doing all the technical things.
true.
You're wanting it to be,
An event that people
Yeah.
can, and
Right.
yeah. And so I didn't get to, now granted,
and that she was able to do that. A typed question.
I know.
Yeah.
Not my voice.
Right.
Not my,
she didn't know who you were.
no, nothing.
Literally, it was like, oh, we have another question.
Yeah, she had no idea.
That is true.
Yeah. So
No,
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah.
No DNA passing.
That's right. That's right. She couldn't go and quickly do some Googling on you.
Nothing.
No. So yeah, it definitely makes me feel good that, like you said, Sam, everyone got
Everyone got
something from
something.
it. Yeah. So
So it was a big success.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that we got to have a fan on finally.
I am too. And honestly, it's one of my favorite people in the whole world. I love her very, very much.
I pay her well.
All right. Well, now you guys don't need to go bunking heads anymore.
Well, we might still, because this is how we are.
Yeah.
We're silly.
I'm
Faces.
graceful.
We're both very graceful.
Ballerinas at heart.
That's right. Can you tell?
I'm just leaving it at that.